Welcome to the Forever Cash Life Real Estate Investing Podcast with your hosts, Jack and Michelle Bosch. Together, let's uncover the secrets to building true wealth through real estate and living a purpose-driven life.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, Land Profit Masterclass. Welcome to our new friends here that have joined over the last few days. This group that are gearing up, that are preparing to have an amazing 5-day masterclass starting next week, starting Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific. We are Michelle Bosch.
And Jack Bosch.
And we are the co-creators of the Land Profit Generator Method, which we will be teaching you, starting Monday, that has really allowed Jack and myself and our family to really live a freedom, based life, to live a life, that is where we have freedom of money, where we have freedom of time, where we have the possibility to create deep, meaningful relationships, with the people that we love, that has allowed us to really step into a journey and into a path of purpose. Now, as we share also, this method with all of you guys. So welcome here to the group. We are here today to talk about who the ideal land buyers are. And before we get into that, I just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping and let you all know, if you have been in this group and have not registered for the class and you need the new updated workbook, if you need, reminders to make sure that you get here on time to the live sessions, right. If you need, links to a replay, you want to register and you want to go to landprofitmaster.com and register.
Landprofitmaster.com. Okay, go there right now. Open a second browser.
Hi, Angel. How are you?
Or go use your phone if you're on the browser, or use a laptop if you're on the phone. Go landprofitmaster.com and register. Then you get the reminders and you get updates and so on. Otherwise, it's very easy to forget one of these sessions because even though they're very easy to remember. Every morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday to Friday, we're going live for about 60 minutes, right? Yeah.
And then if you haven't registered, then you don't have the updated workbook right now. Or if this is your first time, your very first masterclass, and you won't have, that workbook as well. It has already been dropped. I know every person that has registered up to this point has it in their email. The workbook already dropped today. So if for any reason you cannot find your email, go to spam, make sure that you fish it out of there or out of junk folder. And that if not, you can always, reach out to one of the land experts here. They're all full-time land flippers that are here to surround you with support before, during, and after the masterclass as you embark on this new journey, that we're going to be talking to you guys and sharing with you, that has really allowed us to unlock the secret key to wealth in a much more simpler way, using real estate as a vehicle.
And in other words, land flipping for thousands, tens of thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of dollars of profits. Who wants to make six figures, multiple six figures this year? Yeah. Right? Still this year, we're only in May. Right? We're only in May. Yeah. Right? I talked to one of our students just last week, who in this first 45 to 60 days did $100,000, right? Now, not everyone does that. This is not a guarantee, right? But if you put the pedal to the metal, like he had his back against the wall, he had nowhere else to go but forward. He put the pedal to the metal, and in less than 60 days, he had $100,000. Yeah. Right? In the first year, he had $450,000. Boom, you just dropped the paper. Let me grab it for you.
It's okay. It's okay. We got it. We got it.
This is live. We stopped there. Here's our little notes that we're using here. So
we had to stick our dog in the crate too, because we didn't want her to go crazy. Sometimes
she's a little bit of a barker when back there a car drives by.
Or a plastic bag, or so a bird flies by, she goes crazy.
She protects us from the attacks of plastic bags. There you go. Okay, guys. So land flipping. Just quickly, what is land flipping? Like if you're brand new here, if you came here perhaps to some advertising that you saw, you came here, you joined the group, and you're like, okay, I'm excited. What is land flipping? Land flipping is basically we specialize in finding people that don't want their land anymore. Land flipping works very different, but in concept, it's very similar to house flipping. Yeah. Just without the number one complicating factor with real estate, which is the house, right? So you don't have to deal with tenants, toilets, termites, repairs, maintenance, crews, permits,
foundation
issues, roof issues, electric issues, none of that stuff. So therefore, all the tentacles that you deal with in the house flipping world are gone.
Hard money.
You don't even need boots on the ground, because with house flipping, you need somebody who actually still looks at that property and estimates repairs. Even if you do wholesaling, right, where you just flip it, right, and move it on without doing anything to it, you still need boots on the ground. You don't need boots on the ground with land, because you can use aerial pictures, Google Maps, Google Earth, Google Street View, county websites to see all of things. So therefore, it's 100% hands-off. You can do it from the comfort of your home. It's simpler than house flipping, but it's equally, if not more profitable. It's tried and true method right there, exactly. One of our students in the first 6 days of May made $150,000 in the United States, land flipping in the United States, and he lives in Europe.
Yeah. And you're going to meet some of these amazing land flippers that are really at the top 1% of land flippers nationwide. They're going to be here. They're going to be accessible to you guys for this entire, week of the masterclass, for you to ask questions, for you to, be there live. That's why you need to be there live at the sessions, right. To help answer any questions. Jackie and myself as well. We go through every single comment. I know, for example, that Mudasar is here, that Michael Sanders is here. And if I see your questions come up on the comment, Jack and I will, try to answer as much and as many of those questions as we can.
Exactly right. So then the next thing is going quickly back to land flipping. So we find these deals that the owners no longer want. We'll explain to you why they no longer want it, how we get them, and all things in the masterclass. And we put them on a contract for often between 10 and 45 cents on the dollar. And then we turn them around and then sell them in two different ways. One is a wholesale transaction, right, where we basically mark it up to 65 cents on the dollar. You have it on a contract for 30 cents on the dollar, and you double your money. So you put it on a contract for $20,000, sell it for $40,000, or $45,000, make a $23,000 to $25,000 profit after considering closing costs. Second way we sell it, we love selling it with seller financing, seller carryback, installment sales, where you basically take a property worth $30,000, put it on a contract for $3,000, and then sell it and get a 20% down payment. So on a $30,000 sale, you get a $6,000 down payment, which is already twice as much what you paid for the property. So you put it on a contract for $3,000, you get a $6,000 down payment. You're already in the money, and then you get monthly payments for many, many years to come. So land actually cash flows.
Yeah.
That is saying, and the best part about land flipping is that it's almost no competition. So the question that we want to cover today is, who is your perfect land buyer?
And those land buyers really, because when we start any business, we want to start with the end in mind. And the end in mind is that in order for us to go out there and pursue, sellers, that want to sell their vacant land, we need to know what kind of buyers are out there where there's actual demand for the type of land that we're going to have available for sale. So we always reverse engineer our goals, and we start with the exit in mind. So with that, for the last 20 years, Jack and I have been focusing on 3 types of properties. Property number 1 is infill lots. Think of an infill lot as a piece of land.
With us, our bought a property for $6,000 and has it on a contract for $60,000.
Woo!
Boom! That's
what
we're talking about. 10x returns, guys.
Yes.
That's exactly what we're talking about here. That's exactly what you're going to learn to do next week too. Who is excited about that? Make sure you put it on your freaking calendar.
Yeah.
Make sure you
because your calendar is a crystal ball to the future. I know what's going to happen in your future next week if I just look at your calendar. So make sure that it's on your calendar.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, rudely interrupted.
Yeah. So infill lots, and think about an infill lot as if there's a subdivision, a residential subdivision where everything has been built out, and then in between 2 homes you see a vacant lot. That would be an infill lot where, usually our buyer is a builder. Yeah. A builder or a financial investor or even the neighbor, yeah?
And in the market that we're in right now, these properties, just literally, you do 3 phone calls and they're gone, right? So they take a little bit more effort to get. We talk about that too next week on what it takes to get those. But then once you get it, boom, exactly, Angel. Infill, yes.
Yeah, and infill because they're ready to be filled in with a home.
With a home, exactly. Yeah. So it's like a gap. Like you think about it, a row of teeth and there's a tooth missing. Well, you need to fill in a tooth. It's a row of houses and there's a house missing.
Jack went to the dentist yesterday.
No, I'm going tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
Yes, it's tomorrow. So And so it's every day. Michael, the class starts May 16th, this coming Monday, at 9 a.m. and it's every day for about 1 hour. We're going live Monday to Friday, 5 days in a row, potentially a couple of bonus sessions at the end. We haven't decided that yet, but so potentially goes into the weekend, but at least 5 sessions, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, right? And we're going live there for about 60 minutes. So, right. So the second kind of buyer is
the second type of property that we like to specialize in is path of growth. So
Pacific, Michael. Pacific.
So infill means that they're in the city, and then we start going out, you know, from the main city. We start going out into areas that are considered path of growth. Think, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half outside of a big city. Yeah.
Well, something depends on the size of the city. So if the city is smaller, you can be 10 minutes out, and that's still the path of growth. Yeah. If you're
in a place like we are here in Phoenix, Arizona, for example, between here and Tucson, that corridor of an hour and a half or 2 hours would be considered path of growth. That's where both cities are basically growing towards each other.
Yeah. And there's lots of people that live like an hour outside or 45 minutes outside of town in already developments and then commute into town because prices are just more affordable out there, right?
And who is our buyer there?
And who is our buyer there? The buyer is, if it's closer to the city, it can also be a builder. And if it's a little bit further out where prices are cheaper, then it's often a future retiree.
Yeah.
The future retiree. And a retiree, why that is very simply because retirees have realized that 50%.
Oh, you still live in Gilbert.
50%, there we go. And outside of Gilbert is where that path of growth would be. Outside of the last development, basically in the outskirts of a town. And that retiree there's an unfortunate statistic that shows that 50% of all the people over 55 years in the United States don't have enough savings to actually to retire in style. Now, if that is you, then you're at the right place because you actually, there's 2 ways to actually make ends meet at the end of the day. One is to shrink back and to basically move an hour outside of town so that you can afford a $20,000 piece of land, pay it off over the next 10 years, and then put a mobile home on there. And that's who we sell a lot of land to, because those buyers, they're not willing to do what it takes to actually expand their means. And the second group is you guys. Like if you're in that category, if you're already super successful, then great. But if you're in that, but some of our audience here might be people in their 40s, 50s that don't have enough saved up yet. They might have $100,000 in a 401k or in savings and so on, but that's not enough to retire. What they're willing to do is to actually go full out and expand it and build a multi-$100,000 business in their life, so that they don't have to move out into the boonies to go retire, right?
Yeah, and be one of your customers.
And be one of our customers,
future customers,
right?
Yeah.
So the thing is,
another buyer in this path of growth area that really has kind of like emerged, I would say, strongly right now over, this 24 months of the entire world being in a pandemic is the COVID buyer. All of a sudden, companies, less than, I don't know what percentage we were reading the other day of all companies have their entire workforce that are not going to be going back to an actual office, where they're going to actually stay.
Like something like a humongous number, like 60-70% of all companies will allow at least to some degree flex pay.
Yeah.
And
flex
before
work,
flex work, before the pandemic, the people that truly worked from home was like 5 to 10%. 5% of the people had worked 100% from home. After the pandemic, that's up to like probably 25, 30. 40%, and another 25, 30 people are allowed to do flex work, which means that they're allowed to go to the office when they want to, but they don't have to be in the office every day. Now we have attorney friends here that work for the top attorney firm here in Arizona. They're in that model. They don't have to go to the office. They can continue working from home, or they go for certain meetings once or twice a week. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic, because we know what that means. If you're living on a postage stamp lot size, on a tiny little lot, let's say that, but apparently I can pronounce this morning. A tiny little lot in 10 minutes away from your property. You don't barely have a backyard or anything like that. Right now with this development, you now have a chance of buying yourself 5 acres outside of town, and they don't have to be far outside of town. They can be right outside of town, right? With an acre is worth $100,000. You buy yourself a $500,000 property that you guys get for $200,000, you mark it up to $350,000 and you sell it to that person. They get a bargain, they get a $500,000 lot for $350,000, you make $150,000, and then they build a beautiful house in there, and now they only go to the office twice a week.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes sense. So this buyer has popped up like crazy. And that
along with a financial investor.
Along with a financial investor, and along with our last buyer, which is the recreational buyer.
Yeah.
And the recreational buyer is a buyer that loves the outdoors. Now that buyer doesn't buy in the city. That buyer doesn't buy in the path of growth. That buyer buys 1, 2, 3 hours outside of town in the mountains, in the hilly area.
Where there's actually opportunities to recreate, like a lake, to go fishing or to go hunting or to kayaking, do outdoors activities, ride their ATVs. Like again, we take as an example now Phoenix, between Phoenix and Flagstaff, there's always this incredible amount of traffic heading north, starting at 3 p.m. on Friday, with all of these families, with their kids in the back, and where they're hauling all their four-wheelers and all these other, expensive toys, heading basically north to where there's an area with Ponderosa Pines or with lakes or with hunting opportunities and just camping and living outdoors and enjoying a wonderful weekend with family. And so you don't want to be more than, I would say, 3 hours out, because with a family with kids, can you imagine? I mean, I know for the ladies, imagine, if you have kids under 10 in the back seat, when are we getting there? When are we getting there?
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Yeah, but the point is literally you see that if in any bigger city where there's within a couple of hours there's something attractive. If you live in Atlanta, the Smoky Mountains. If you live in Denver, obviously the Rocky Mountains. If you live in Arizona, the northern Arizona area with lots of open space, who wouldn't want to have their own mini ranch, guys? Yeah. There's millions and millions of people in the United States that would love to have their own 10, 20, 40 acre ranch that they can go. They work hard Monday to Friday. Friday afternoon, they take a little off early, pick up the kids from school, and up goes a beeline of huge RVs, of huge pickup trucks with huge trailers and RVs and ATVs and things on there. And these people have money. This is affluent buyers.
Because all those toys are expensive.
Yeah, $100,000 toys.
And I'm pretty sure that in every single state where you guys might be living right now, even though this business is not location specific, because you can do this virtually, because you don't have to deal with the complication of a house, I bet you know an area where where people are heading out towards during the weekends, and that would be the perfect recreational area
for camping. Exactly.
So there's no such a thing as this doesn't work in my state.
Yeah, it works everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we got people that doing killer deals outside of New York City. Right? Yeah. In upstate New York, like an hour, 2 hours outside of Manhattan. Killer deals, by getting these deals for $15,000, selling them for $45,000, sight unseen, without ever touching foot on the property, just virtual buying and selling, right? And on top of it, we'll show you how to get these deals without even buying them yourself.
Yeah.
So you don't ever need, even on the deal that I said, that you put on a contract for $200 and mark it up by $150, sell it for $350, you do not need $200,000. So if you have $200,000, you can use that for other things, right? You can keep your money, and you don't need to invest in those pieces of land. Instead, you can invest in your education. You can invest in the scaling of your business and things like that.
In bringing VAs, so that at the end of the day, you're not spending your time doing busy work, and you actually spend your time doing the critical activities that are going to actually elevate you to become the CEO of your small venture, of your small business that you guys have already started, if you have been here inside of the group, or that you're about to start, because at the end of the day, we're all doing this for freedom, for the ability to spend our time like we want to spend it, wake up without an alarm, without the dread of Mondays, without the dread of the boss, without the dread of, the people that you are stuck working with that you might not enjoy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
right. Exactly right. So yeah, so in summary, again, our buyers are, number one, for the properties in the city is the builders. Or sometimes a financial buyer that just wants to buy and wait for prices to go further up. In the outskirts of town.
Thank you so much, Laura. She says, I'm ready. Love these videos.
Wonderful.
We're excited. And these videos are just really setting the foundation so that when we start on Monday, you guys are already at a certain level of knowledge and you're not just completely green and have no idea about what land investing and land flipping is.
At least you know the fundamentals.
You have the fundamentals, and we can speak, basically, have a better, higher level conversation, basically, when we start on Monday, yeah?
Exactly.
So also, for those that have just joined, hi Rossetti, make sure that you contact your land expert. If you do not have your workbook yet, you want to have that workbook. That is $1 million asset.
If you don't know where your workbook is, comment below. You need my workbook.
No homework needed. You will have homework next week because this is a really hands-on workshop. But the workbook is basically for you to take notes and follow along in each of the sessions with us, and that you can revert back to. It's an asset that you can revert back to, a resource, a tool, so that when you're starting and when you're doing and you're already getting your first acceptance, on your first offer, you know what the next steps are. So that's what the workbook is there for, is to really help you really assimilate, the content that we will be sharing with all of you. And it gives you an opportunity to also come back and refer to it. So if you don't have it yet, I want to let you know that every single one of you here inside of the Land Profit Masterclass that is going to be, that has registered and is going to the Masterclass with us, has been assigned a land expert. And this is somebody 100% here on our team that is doing land investing, that is here to support you before the masterclass, during the masterclass, and after the masterclass, yeah? So you want to use them, abuse them. There's even a pre-masterclass challenge that is going on right now, where every single day, I don't know if you've noticed here inside of the group, you have to do a certain activity. I think yesterday was a 10-minute meet and greet, with your land expert. I even had a post down here saying, if you need a land expert, make sure that you tell me that you don't have one yet. As a matter of fact, if you don't have one yet, make sure you say here
put it on there
on the comments that you don't have one and that you need a workbook or that you need a land expert.
Because our team is monitoring these
comments. Yeah, and they can get you the workbook. And we more than likely also, you've already received a welcome direct message in your hidden request here on Facebook Messenger, so make sure that you check there as well. That you open your emails, that you fish them out of spam, that you fish them out of junk. And if you would like text reminders, we will do that as well. So we want to make sure that you get the most out of this. And that is one of the promises that we have, from our entire team, is that this free masterclass will give you more than your last investment in your education in whatever, area of real estate that you have been looking at.
You might have spent 50 grand on something else, and then we're going to give
People
you more
have
value.
done deals here just from a masterclass,
right.
yeah?
Absolutely.
So, hey Joyce, how are you? So,
right. So again, in summary, for buyers, number one, Infill lot is the builder. Number two, it is also the financial buyer. Number two, the path of growth. That's the future retiree, the COVID buyer. They're buying those, and if it's close to the city, also potentially financial buyer. Again, number three is the properties, the recreational properties, the mini ranches and things like that. That the buyer is the affluent, fun-loving outdoors person that of which there are millions of millions, because COVID, for example, put the RV industry on fire too. There's like millions of RVs have been sold, and there's a waiting list for RVs, and people RVing around there. And when you RV, you don't want to be in an RV park right next to another RV. You go there sometimes, perhaps, but most of the time, when you want to have your own 20-acre parcel, well, those buyers, they have money for $100,000, $150,000 RV. They have money for the ATVs and the toys and the car behind it, and they have money for the land to buy it from you. So you make those huge profits and help them make their dream of land ownership come through.
Yeah. So with that, guys, we are super excited to walk you through, this masterclass. We have walked already through it, countless others that are doing the things that you want to do. And they were willing to basically think different, think outside the box, go all in, and really pursue their dreams, believe that this is possible for them. And
we're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires. We are well over half of that already done. So you have a chance to be one of our last few hundred millionaires that we want to create right now in the next year and a half. So make sure you put the pedal to the metal. You come there. Who wants to be one of our millionaires? Put it right here into the chat box. Even if you watch the replay, put it on here. I want to put the word millionaire on here, so we know that you're serious about making this happen.
I can take pride in saying that our team is very well known in the industry for being millionaire makers. You're going to meet people here that have retired at record speed, in 12, 14, 18 months from corporate jobs that they hated, having maybe law practices that they sold, dentistry practices that they sold, people that used to be
truck drivers and stopped being truck drivers,
nurses,
waitresses that now make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
So people from all walks of life that did not have perhaps prior real estate experience and that are making bank, and really raking it in while being of service to sellers, while being of service to buyers, and really being a solution in the marketplace right now. So in a blue ocean, because like when you think about real estate or you talk to your buddies about real estate, does land investing come to mind? More than likely the answer is going to be no.
This is the last real area of real estate that we know of that's almost untapped up by competition. So go ahead, make sure you put it on the calendar, right? Get the workbook, contact your concierge, put it on the calendar Monday to Friday, May 16th to the whatever that is, then 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, May 16th to the 20th. We're going full out every day, 9 a.m. Pacific.
You want to be live so that we can answer your questions, so that our team of master coaches can also help answer any questions. So, while we're there live, so that you don't walk away after the 5 days with doubt and,
Yeah, you walk away with clarity.
With clarity, absolute clarity.
But that's it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
See you.